Good morning, Miss Wilson. Please come in and make yourself comfortable because I wanted to have a detailed discussion with you regarding several important matters related to teaching, student performance, classroom management, and the general atmosphere in our school.
Good morning, Mr. Brown. Thank you very much for inviting me to your office. I appreciate the opportunity to sit down and discuss these matters because I believe that regular communication between teachers and school leaders is extremely important for creating a positive and productive learning environment.
I completely agree with you, and that is one of the reasons why I try to schedule meetings with teachers whenever possible, because listening to their experiences, concerns, and suggestions helps us improve the quality of education that we provide to our students.
That sounds very encouraging because teachers often face different kinds of challenges inside the classroom, and sometimes simply having a meaningful discussion can help us find practical solutions to ongoing problems.
You are absolutely right. Before we discuss school matters in greater detail, I would first like to ask how you have been feeling recently, because teaching can sometimes become mentally exhausting and emotionally demanding, especially when teachers are responsible for many different tasks at the same time.
Thank you for asking, Mr. Brown. To be honest, I have been managing quite well, although there are certainly days when I feel physically tired and mentally overwhelmed due to lesson preparation, classroom responsibilities, student behavior issues, and grading assignments.
I appreciate your honesty, because many teachers work extremely hard but sometimes hesitate to express how difficult their responsibilities can become. In my opinion, teachers deserve appreciation because they spend a significant amount of time helping students not only academically, but also emotionally and socially.
I truly appreciate hearing that because sometimes teachers focus so much on supporting students that they forget to pay attention to their own well-being and professional growth.
That is an important point. A healthy and motivated teacher often creates a better classroom atmosphere, which eventually helps students feel more comfortable, engaged, and willing to participate in classroom discussions.
I have noticed that as well, because students often respond positively when teachers are patient, energetic, and approachable instead of appearing stressed or frustrated.
Speaking of students, I wanted to ask you about your classes this term. From your perspective, how would you describe the overall behavior, participation, and academic performance of your students?
Overall, I would say that many students are trying their best and showing genuine interest in learning, although there is still a noticeable difference between highly motivated students and those who struggle to remain focused for long periods.
That is understandable because every classroom contains students with different personalities, interests, learning speeds, and family situations, which naturally affects their level of concentration and performance.
Exactly. Some students actively participate in discussions, complete assignments on time, and ask thoughtful questions, while others remain quiet, become distracted easily, or hesitate to seek help when they do not understand something.
In your professional opinion, what do you think prevents some students from performing at their full potential?
I believe several factors contribute to that problem. Some students struggle because they lack confidence, while others face personal challenges at home, spend too much time on entertainment, or simply have difficulty organizing their study habits effectively.
That makes a lot of sense because success in education often depends on more than intelligence alone. Motivation, discipline, consistency, and emotional support also play an important role in helping students improve academically.
I completely agree. For example, I have noticed that students who receive encouragement from family members often feel more confident and motivated to work harder, whereas students who lack support sometimes lose interest more quickly.
That observation is extremely valuable because it reminds us that education is a shared responsibility between schools, teachers, students, and families.
Absolutely. Although teachers spend many hours helping students learn, parental involvement can significantly influence a child's confidence, discipline, and attitude toward education.
Another topic I wanted to discuss today concerns classroom discipline because maintaining order while creating a positive learning atmosphere can sometimes become difficult.
Yes, classroom discipline is definitely an important issue because even a small amount of disruptive behavior can interrupt the lesson and reduce the concentration of other students.
What kinds of behavioral problems have you observed recently?
Fortunately, serious disciplinary problems are uncommon, but I have noticed several smaller issues such as students arriving late to class, forgetting homework, speaking while others are talking, and occasionally becoming distracted by conversations unrelated to the lesson.
Those problems may seem minor individually, but when they happen repeatedly, they can negatively affect classroom productivity and learning outcomes.
That is exactly what concerns me, because if students develop careless habits at school, those habits may continue later in university, work environments, and other areas of life.
I agree with you completely. In my opinion, discipline should not be based entirely on punishment because students often respond better when teachers explain the reasons behind rules and expectations.
I share the same opinion. Whenever possible, I try to explain to students why punctuality, responsibility, and respectful behavior matter, because understanding the purpose behind rules often encourages cooperation.
That is an excellent strategy because students sometimes resist rules when they feel forced, but they become more cooperative when they understand how those rules benefit them personally.
Exactly. For example, when students interrupt lessons or speak loudly during explanations, I politely remind them that such behavior affects not only their own learning, but also the learning experience of their classmates.
That sounds like a fair and respectful approach. Do students generally respond positively when you speak to them in that way?
Most students do respond positively because I try to maintain a calm tone and avoid embarrassing them in front of others. However, there are occasional situations where stricter intervention becomes necessary.
That is understandable because maintaining discipline often requires balance. Teachers need to be supportive and understanding while also establishing clear expectations and boundaries.
I completely agree because students need structure, but they also need patience, kindness, and encouragement.
I have heard positive comments about your teaching style from several students who mentioned that your lessons feel engaging and easy to understand. Could you tell me more about the methods you use in class?
Certainly, I try to avoid relying only on lectures because students often lose concentration when they spend too much time listening passively without interaction.
That is a wise approach because active participation often increases understanding and memory.
Exactly. I often include classroom discussions, pair work, short presentations, role-play activities, and problem-solving exercises because students generally become more interested when they are actively involved in the learning process.
That sounds very effective because students learn differently, and providing variety can help meet different learning needs.
Yes, some students learn best through discussion, while others understand concepts more clearly when visual materials, examples, or practical activities are included.
Have you experienced any difficulties when introducing interactive activities?
Occasionally, yes. Some students initially feel shy and reluctant to participate because they worry about making mistakes or speaking incorrectly in front of others.
That is understandable because confidence develops gradually.
Exactly, and I often remind students that mistakes are a natural part of learning and that nobody improves without practicing, asking questions, and occasionally making errors.
I admire that attitude because students need reassurance if they're going to develop confidence and communication skills.
Thank you. I believe creating a safe and respectful classroom atmosphere encourages students to take learning seriously while also feeling comfortable enough to express themselves.